The first time little Lily scratched a nanny, she drew blood. It happened in the grand marble hallway of the Whitmore mansion, beneath a glittering chandelier that cost more than most people's homes. The nanny screamed, the security rushed in, and 7-year-old Lily Whitmore stood there with wild, tear-filled eyes like a cornered animal instead of a child. By the end of the month, she had scratched 4 more nannies. Some quit in fear, others in frustration. None lasted more than a week. But when the new poor maid arrived, something happened that no one could explain. Lily kissed her. Jonathan Whitmore, Lily's father, was a self-made millionaire. After losing his wife, Grace, to a sudden illness 2 years earlier, he buried himself in business. His tech company flourished, investors praised him, magazines called him the Iron CEO. But behind the gates of his estate, his world was collapsing. Lily had stopped speaking in full sentences. She refused school. She broke toys. She pushed people away. And she attacked every nanny hired to care for her. Doctors said it was trauma. Psychologists said it was grief. Jonathan told himself it was a phase, but deep down he feared something worse, that his daughter blamed him for her mother's death. Each nanny arrived hopeful and confident. Each left with scratches on their arms and disappointment in their hearts. Lily didn't just scratch randomly. She waited until they tried to hug her, or brush her hair, or speak gently about her mother. The closer they tried to get, the harder she lashed out. "She's unstable," one nanny muttered while packing her suitcase. "She needs discipline," another insisted. But Jonathan knew the truth. Lily didn't need discipline, she needed her mother. The day Hannah Brooks arrived, it was raining. She stepped through the mansion gates wearing a faded blue dress and shoes that had clearly seen better days. She wasn't there to be a nanny. She had applied for a housekeeping position. Her resume was simple. No prestigious childcare certifications. No glowing references from wealthy families. Just honest experience working in small homes and caring for her younger siblings after her own mother passed away. Mrs. Carter, the house manager, looked skeptical. "The pay is modest," she warned. Hannah smiled softly. "I'm not afraid of work." Jonathan barely glanced at her during the interview. He was distracted, exhausted, half listening. But something about her calm voice lingered after she left the room. "Hire her," he said abruptly. "We need someone new in the East Wing anyway." He didn't expect her to last long. The first time Lily saw Hannah, she was sitting at the top of the staircase, hugging her knees. The child's golden curls framed a pale, guarded face. Her eyes were sharp, constantly measuring, constantly ready. Hannah didn't rush forward. She didn't kneel dramatically or open her arms. She simply paused, holding a basket of clean laundry. "Hi," Hannah said gently. "I'm Hannah." Lily said nothing. "I like your house," Hannah continued. "It's bigger than my entire street." Still silence. Then slowly Hannah added, "But it looks lonely." That made Lily blink. Most adults talked about how lucky she was, how beautiful her home was. No one had ever called it lonely. Lily stood up and walked toward her. Mrs. Carter held her breath from the hallway. Jonathan, watching security footage from his office, as he always did with new staff, leaned forward. Lily stopped inches from Hannah. And then, instead of scratching, she leaned up and pressed a small, sudden kiss to Hannah's cheek. The entire household froze. Hannah didn't react dramatically. She didn't gasp or celebrate. She just smiled softly. "Thank you," she whispered. From that day, something shifted. Lily still refused to talk much. She still avoided most people. But she followed Hannah from room to room. If Hannah dusted shelves, Lily sat nearby drawing. If Hannah polished silverware, Lily sorted spoons silently beside her. One evening, Jonathan found them in the kitchen baking cookies. Flour covered the counter and Lily's nose. "You'll ruin the marble," he said automatically. Hannah looked up. "We're cleaning as we go." Lily clutched Hannah's apron tighter when she saw her father. Jonathan's chest tightened. His own daughter had not hugged him in months. Later that night, he asked Hannah carefully, "Did she hurt you?" Hannah shook her head, "No, sir. She's hurt everyone else." Hannah hesitated, "She doesn't hate them." Jonathan frowned, "She scratches them." "She scratches when they try to replace someone," Hannah said softly. "I'm not trying to replace anyone." That answer unsettled him more than he expected. The challenges weren't gone. Lily still had nightmares. She still screamed if someone mentioned her mother's name unexpectedly. At school meetings, teachers complained about her withdrawal. Jonathan felt the pressure from every direction: business rivals, shareholders, parenting advisors. One afternoon, he came home early and heard shouting. A substitute tutor had grabbed Lily's wrist after she refused to complete a math worksheet. "Let go," Lily screamed. Before Jonathan could reach them, Lily clawed at the tutor's arm. Hannah rushed in, not to scold Lily but to kneel beside her. "It's okay," she murmured. "No one's taking you anywhere." The tutor stormed out, furious and offended. Jonathan expected Hannah to criticize Lily. Instead, she asked gently, "What scared you?" Lily whispered something too soft for him to hear. That night, Jonathan confronted Hannah. "You can't encourage this behavior." "I'm not encouraging it," Hannah replied calmly. "I'm listening to it." He fell silent. Days later, he overheard the truth. Lily was sitting on Hannah's small bed in the servants' quarters, clutching a worn photograph. "She went to the hospital," Lily whispered. "And Daddy said she'd come back, but she didn't. So when new ladies try to hold me, I think they'll go away too." Jonathan felt the air leave his lungs. Lily hadn't been attacking out of cruelty. She was defending herself from abandonment. That night, he sat beside his daughter's bed for the first time in months. "I'm sorry," he whispered. "I was scared too." Lily didn't respond at first. Then she slowly reached for his hand. It wasn't a hug, but it was something. The real test came when a wealthy business partner, Richard Coleman, visited the mansion. He brought expensive gifts and casually remarked, "You should send the girl to a boarding school. Structure fixes these issues." Jonathan felt the old instinct to solve problems with money rise again. But before he could answer, Lily walked in holding Hannah's hand. "She's not broken," Hannah said quietly, though she knew she risked her job speaking out of turn. "She's grieving." The room went silent. Richard laughed awkwardly, but Jonathan didn't. For the first time, he saw his home clearly, not as a monument to success, but as a place starving for warmth. Over the next months, changes unfolded slowly. Jonathan reduced his office hours. He began having dinner at the table instead of in his study. He attended therapy sessions with Lily. He stopped hearing replacements for love and started offering his own presence. Lily stopped scratching. She began speaking in full sentences again. She returned to school part-time. She even started talking about her mother, not with panic but with sadness that could finally breathe. One evening, while watching the sunset from the balcony, Lily turned to Hannah. "You didn't try to be my mommy," she said. Hannah smiled. "You already have one." Lily nodded. "But you stayed." "Yes," Hannah whispered, "I stayed." Months later, Jonathan called Hannah into his office. "You've done more for my daughter than all the specialists combined," he said honestly. "I want to offer you a different position, not as a maid, as Lily's full-time caregiver, with proper salary, benefits, education sponsorship if you want it." Hannah's eyes filled with tears. "I don't need a mansion," she said softly. "I just needed work." "And we," Jonathan replied, "needed you." The mansion no longer felt so cold. It still had marble floors and grand chandeliers. It still held wealth beyond imagination. But now, laughter echoed down the halls. Cookie crumbs appeared on expensive counters. A father learned to kneel instead of command. A little girl learned that not everyone leaves. And sometimes, the poorest person in the room carries the richest heart. The inspiring truth was simple. Love cannot be hired, replaced, or forced. It must be patient. It must be present. And sometimes healing doesn't begin with a grand gesture, but with someone who simply stays. In a house where every nanny had been scratched away, it was the humble maid who healed the deepest wound, with nothing but gentleness, courage, and a promise not